Colin Powell once said, "There are no secrets to success. It's the result of preparation, hard work, and learning from failure." And we couldn't agree more. This is Unleash the Champ Leadership Podcast. Unleash the Champ Leadership Podcast. We'll talk to people from all walks of life and pick their brains about their journey, the process, and the ups and downs to becoming successful. You want inspiration and motivation? It all starts here. This is the Unleash the Champ Leadership Podcast. And now your host, Kyle Sullivan.
What's going on, champions? Welcome to another episode of Unleash the Champ Leadership Podcast. Today, our guest is Brandon Barnum. He's a serial entrepreneur and known as the king of referrals. He's an award-winning entrepreneur, coach, consultant, speaker, trainer, and workshop leader. He serves as the CEO of HOA.com, the #1 referral network, home service professionals, and the chairman of the board of Champions Institute. After learning the art and science of referrals, he increased his annual income 10x in 18 months from 20K to 200K. We're going to talk about that for sure. He's since closed over 500 million in transactions by referrals and has founded multiple online referral platforms and networks. He serves as the CEO of Codebreaker Technologies AI, the world's first personality-based AI for sales. At the end of the day, Brandon is passionate about empowering business owners and professionals with a step-by-step system for attracting profitable prospects and expanding their income, influence, and impact. Whoo, man, what a bio, my man. Thank you for joining the show.
Oh, there you go, Kyle. Hey, pleasure to be here. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely, man. So there's a whole lot in the bio. Super excited to dive into it. But we like to get the guests to say, okay, we got the bio. We know what you do professionally. Who is Brandon behind the bio?
Ooh, okay. Well, loyal husband, married for my wife and I have been together 30 years, about to celebrate 26 years of marriage. So first and foremost, I have 3 kids, 31, 23, and 20. So empty nest. And, besides the professional life, I spend a lot of my time personally in worship, and we're building the Christian Business Alliance. So, God is part of my path and gives me all strength. And so I've got to give him praise all the time. And that's it, man. I mean, I like to play volleyball, play poker, have fun, go scuba diving. But mostly it's family, faith, friends, and fun.
Come on. I love that, man. And so we'll definitely dive into you said the Christian Business Alliance. Is that?
Yes, sir. Yep.
Nice, man. So we'll just jump off there. What is that? Right. What are you building? And I was a pastor for 12 years before I started my business. So we could definitely jive on Jesus here.
Amen. All right. I love it. So yeah, we started the Christian Business Alliance. It was actually started inside of HOA.com as really a way to give more attention to Christians, help Christians do business with other Christians. But we recognized it needed to stand on its own. So we've made it a 501c3 organization. It's outside of HOA.com. And basically, we identified 3 things that are sort of gaps in the church. Number 1, there's no fellowship with business owners. At least in my church and the churches I've been to, there's sort of a gap. They really don't talk about business and help business owners connect with others and build our businesses together. Number 2, there's no marketplace ministry. What I mean by that is Christians can't really buy from other Christians. There's no easy way if you want to do business with other Christians. How do you even do that? There really isn't a way to do that. So we're on a mission to change that. And then number 3, churches, charities, missions, missionaries always have their hands out, sort of begging for, I don't want to say begging, asking for donations, right? They need funding. And so we've created a way whereby churches that want to have a chapter of the Christian Business Alliance can do so, and it generates funding for their church or their charity.
That's incredible, man. That's awesome. How long y'all been doing that?
2 months. We just started. We just launched it. We've got chapters starting in about 5 different cities in the U.S. We've got people in 40 different cities and 8 countries that have said they're interested in opening a chapter. So we're going through that process right now.
Fantastic, man. That's awesome. Any close to Oklahoma?
Oklahoma's not on the map, but we can
Hey,
change that, Kyle. Come
come
on.
on now. We
Come
can
on,
change
brother.
that, baby.
Perfect for
Awesome,
you,
man.
man.
Well,
You can
dude,
check out thecba.org, thecba.org,
there
and
it
find
is.
out information. You can apply to be a chapter leader. We'd love to have you. There's no cost to you. And we even give the churches the ability, if they want to offer it for free for their whole congregation, they can, or they can offer the paid plan, and then 50% of the membership fees go right back to the church. We're a nonprofit. The goal is to operate on 10% or less total overhead expense, so that we just give away 90 cents out of every dollar. It's reverse tithing.
Come on. I love that. Yeah, we're gonna we'll have to link up after this.
All
Uh
right.
man, so what I love is in the bio, you talk like the art and science of referrals.
Yeah.
And any business needs to operate on referrals. How do I know, like, and trust someone to be able to send a referral, to gain a referral? Talk about your journey in learning that and just what it's done. I mean, obviously, 10x the income in 18 months. And how are people, let's see, how can we jump off here? How are people doing it right? And how do you see
Hmm.
people doing referrals wrong?
Yeah, great question, Kyle. It's interesting because Ivan Meisner, who started BNI, he said 98% of businesses rely on referrals, yet only 3% have a system for their referrals, right? So that's the godfather of networking. Those are his numbers. And we find that to be true all the time. We do something called the referral score quiz, and you can go to referralscorequiz.com, and we have 10 best practices when it comes to referrals. And this is like a little 2-minute quiz. You basically rate yourself on how are you doing on these top 10 practices. And people are amazed because there are things that just aren't even on their radar. Like they're not even thinking about it. And yet when they see it, they're like, oh, that makes so much sense. That's a powerful way that they can grow the business. So, I mean, Kyle, as far as what those 10 are, there's a couple that we find over and over that people don't do. And the biggest is they don't ask for referrals. They don't ask for what they want in general. They just kind of live life by default instead of living life by design. So we do two things. Number one, we teach them the art of the ask, which I'm happy to go through if we have the time. And number two, we help them automate the ask. Integrate into all of your messaging, your emails, your invoices, all of your messaging, a request for referrals. And when you do that, you have your system asking for referrals, so you don't ever need to feel uncomfortable doing so.
Yes, the art of the ask.
All right.
Let's go into that,
We'll go
man,
there.
because
Okay.
I think I feel like, because I'm a part of a handful of local networking groups and referral groups, and even BNI is pretty big here in our area. And I was at one with our Chamber of Commerce this morning even.
Yep.
And so I let's talk about that, because I think sometimes we go, man, like, how do we do it? So there's an art of the ask. Let's talk about it.
Okay, let's talk about the art of the ask, and then you just talk about networking events. So we're going to talk about referral partner blueprint after that. All right.
Got
So
it.
the art of the ask. Let's say that you're a realtor, a financial planner, a mortgage lender, an insurance agent, whatever it is that you do for work. When you're first winning that client, you've sat down with them, they've decided that they're going to use you and hire you for your services. What you want to do before you let them leave that meeting, whether it's in person, on Zoom, whatever it is, just say, before I let you go, I've got a quick favor to ask you. Would it be okay, as once I have proven myself to you and I've blown you away with delivering the service that I promise, would it be okay then if I ask for referrals? Right now, that's called setting the stage. There's 3 steps to this process. The first step is you're going to set the stage. The second step is you're going to listen for the referral triggers. And the third step is you're going to ASK to GET. So in that first step, we're setting the stage. Okay. Now, by asking them, would it be okay if I ask you for referrals at a later date? You're not putting them on the spot right now. You're not making them feel uncomfortable. In fact, what you're doing is you're doubling down on your promise of service. You're saying, I'm going to wow you with the service that I provide, so much so that I'd like you to tell the world about me. Would that be okay? If I do my job the way I say, would it be okay to ask you for referrals later date? What do you think people are going to say to that, Kyle?
Oh yeah, of course.
Of course. At the very least, they're going to say, okay, well, tell me more, right? And so anyway, that's setting the stage. The next thing you do, once you've got that in advance, you've sort of planted the seeds. Now, throughout the time while you're serving them, you're listening to what they say to you. And what you're listening for is an expression of appreciation. You're looking for wow. You're looking for thank you. You're looking for OMG. This is amazing. Any sort of expression where they're giving you their appreciation for the service that you're doing. And once you hear that, then you want to say, oh, I'm so glad to hear that. Remember at the beginning when I said I was going to wow you, I was going to do what I say, deliver with integrity on time. And the reason that I love doing what I do is because I get to help people like you get this kind of result. I love helping people. Do you know anybody else that I can help? Is there anyone that you know? And be as specific as you can to your perfect prospect profile. Maybe you only help business owners. Maybe if you're in real estate, maybe you're helping people, whatever your focus is, first-time buyers, luxury buyers, investment opportunities. That's what you speak back to them, and then you'll get more referrals and you know what to do with.
So that seems so simple. Why do you think people have a hard time doing it?
I think number one, people don't know what they don't know. Right? They know they should be doing something, but they don't really know what to do. That's why I wrote the book, Raving Referrals. That's why I teach and train all the time and come on podcasts like this, is because I want to empower, enlighten, and inspire people into taking action. But I also think people are insecure. People are uncomfortable in their own skin, a lot of them. And so, this just creates a format, a structure that you can use. It's simple, and no one ever feels uncomfortable because all you're doing is you're saying, I'm going to deliver incredible service. And when I do, I'd like to earn the right to ask for referrals.
I love that. Earn the right to ask for referrals. And you held up a blueprint. Let's talk about that. The referral partner blueprint.
So this is a referral partner blueprint. It's part of the Raving Referrals book, but here's what I know. You said you go to a lot of Chamber of Commerce events, BNI, networking events, and here's what I find is the biggest gap. People go to these events because they're looking to meet people and they don't have enough business. So they're like, maybe if I just go out to all these events, I'll meet the people that I need to meet, and maybe I'll stumble across a client. But they really don't have a plan of action. You're cracking up over there, Kyle. Come on, tell me something.
Yeah, I like to call those. They're the ones that spray and pray.
Yep.
Here's my card. Here's my card. I'm like, what are you gonna do with that card?
Yeah, I never give a business card unless somebody asks for it. Okay,
Same.
so what you're talking about is pitch slapping, right? They're pitch slapping like crazy. They have no interest in what you're doing. They're just looking for an opportunity to tell you about what they're doing. Right? Yep. Don't be that guy, right? So with the referral partner blueprint, what we recognize is there's a lot of people in your life that you've just never formalized a referral partnership with, right? So let's take that example of a realtor, for example. I know from working closely with realtors over my 12 years in the mortgage business and my 13 years in building online tech platforms since then, that realtors give out a ton of referrals and they don't get many back. In fact, that's one of their biggest complaints. I've asked hundreds of realtors, what's your number one challenge when it comes to referrals? That's what they say. God bless you. We give a ton of referrals out and we don't get many back. Does that sound about right, Kyle?
100%.
So what we teach is use a referral partner blueprint. How do you go to all those people that you've met at your BNI group? You go out for coffee, you go grab a beer, you have a great conversation. Like, I really like this dude. We can do some business together. But that's typically as far as it goes. People don't take it to the next step. What we teach in the referral partner blueprint is how to actually create a plan of action together. So one of the things that we have is this one sheet, and on it, there's 21 co-marketing campaigns, okay? Things like introductions. I'm going to introduce you to a few people. This has been designed so that you can print out a one sheet, and there's a PDF. If you go to hoa.com/blueprint, you can download this for free, hoa.com/blueprint. And with this one page, you can print it out. And when you're meeting with your referral partners, You can actually go through and create a plan of action so that by the time you meet, you've got an agreement how you're going to promote them and how they're going to promote you. Things like referrals, obviously, if I'm going to be on the lookout, a scout for you, and when I can refer you, I can. Ratings and reviews. I'm going to give you a rating online on your Google My Business, your LinkedIn profile, whatever. Simple, doesn't take a lot of time, doesn't cost any money, but look for ways, just like you said earlier, Kyle. I think this was before we started recording, ways to add value. That's the key. The more you give to your referral partners, the more they will give to you. So there's 21 different things that you can do. Most of these don't cost you a dime. It just takes time. So create a plan of action with your referral partners so that you're promoting them and they're promoting you, and you're building your business together.
Come on now. I love this. I love the practicality of it, and because I have been in quite a bit of different networking groups and things, that I'm like, okay, this is really, it's practical, it's effective, and I mean, it makes sense why I wanted to have this conversation today. One of the things that in networking or referrals or asking for them is the ability to communicate in a short amount of time what you do, who you're looking for, that type of deal, to make yourself referable. So right. How can someone learn what they need to effectively communicate in that short window of time when someone's like, hey, so what do you do? What would be a great referral for you? You know, that type of deal.
Yeah, absolutely. It's all about telling people who you help and how you help. But I think the best example I've seen of this is Jane M. Powers. She's created what she calls an intromercial. Intromercial. It's not your infomercial, it's your intromercial. How do you introduce yourself? People will call it your elevator pitch, is another way that you hear it called. But it's essentially the way that Jane teaches it is she starts out with identifying who your prospect is. So let's say you're focused on homeowners, okay? Homeowners hire me to help them, blah, 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 okay, whatever it is, the benefit that you deliver, because most don't. And there she's identifying a challenge, a problem area where most of the homeowners don't know how to do this. And so they get a bad result, but my service helps them, and then give a specific example of how you help. So it's really about who you help and how you help, and creating that explanation in a way that's quick, concise, potent, and powerful. And if you give an example of a benefit they're going to receive, then if they're your perfect prospect, they're going to go, oh, well, I need that.
100%. It makes it to where you become referable, and you're planning, much like setting the stage, like you talked about, you're setting those anchors. That's to right. Where they go, oh, Kyle said blah, blah, blah. Oh, now I can make the intro. I can make the referral. Brandon said this. Okay, now we can link them up. I love that, man. And so in a world where AI is like rapidly taking over, you've created Codebreaker Technologies. What is that? What service does it provide? How does it help people in sales? And I love the personality-based AI. Talk about that too.
Yes. So full disclosure, I am no longer CEO. I was the founding CEO of Codebreaker Tech. I helped them build that AI, 4 years ago. So long before everybody else was talking.
Before it was cool. AI. Cool to be AI. Yeah.
Before it was cool. We created an AI that helps you identify your personality style. Okay. The reality is there's 4 different primary personality styles, and there's lots of different personality systems, from DISC or Myers-Briggs, MBTI. There's so many. Colby's got a great system. There's lots of great systems. The only time in 27 years that I've gone to work for somebody else for a paycheck, I accepted the role of CEO of Codebreaker Technologies because I thought the product was amazing and we needed to take it out to the world. And what it is a personality system. I was looking to see if I have my cards handy, that has 4 different primary personalities. And when you understand how your prospect is wired, who they're naturally wired to be, then you can have conversations and presentations in a way that connect with your audience most closely. And so it's called bank code, BANK, and bank is an acronym that stands for blueprint, action, nurturing, and knowledge. And those are the four primary bank codes. Now, what I do in the real world is I have these four cards that I hand people. In fact, I'm flying to New Orleans tomorrow for this conference, and I'll take these with me. And when I meet somebody new, I'll say, "Do you want to see a magic trick?" And Kyle, if I ask you if you want to see a magic trick, what do you think you're going to say?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, absolutely, right? I've never
Yeah.
had anybody turn me
Right.
down from wanting to see a magic trick. So then I hand them the cards. I say, do me a favor, read the information on these cards and sort the cards in order of what's most like you to least like you. That will help me serve you better and save us both time. And what happens is in the next 1 minute, they look through the cards, they hand the cards back to me in about a minute. And they just handed me the keys to the kingdom. They just told me exactly who they are and how they make buying decisions, quite frankly, Kyle. So the book that this is based on is Why They Buy, because once you understand what somebody values, how their mind works, it's like instant empathy. Right. And so, if they're high action, you got to net it out fast. They just want to understand the benefits, and you're going to tell them how they're going to win big quick. If they're nurturing, then it's all about the people, the community, the impact. You're going to talk about the charity, the aspect of how we're going to win together, right? If they're high blueprint, you better talk about the process, the step-by-step system to create predictable results. And if they're knowledge, they want to know everything. They want to know all the nitty gritty, the details. And so if you're in a sales situation, you never try and push a knowledge personality to close. You just give them more information so that they can make the decision, because they take longer to close. They need more time to absorb and assimilate all the information. But once you know their bank code, you can really serve them more effectively and close more sales in less time. So we took those four cards and we created an AI where in one click on a LinkedIn profile, it'll crack someone's code and know instantly how they're wired.
Holy crap. That sounds amazing. That's awesome. And it makes sense why you said, man, we got to get this out to the world. And that's super fun. And it's a disruption to normal like interactions with people. Like, hey, you want to know a magic trick? Like that just sounds super cool and it stands you apart. And that's really, really awesome.
Well, and Kyle, the thing that's so cool about that is once you do that, right, you want to see a magic trick, they spend a minute giving you their cards. And I spend about 2 more minutes telling them who they just told me they are. So if it were you and I were sitting together, you want to see a magic trick, you just give me your cards. Now I would be speaking who you just told me you are based on the order of the cards that you've given. And I usually spend about 2 minutes on that. So in 3 minutes time, not only do I understand who they are, but I've now spoken that back to them so they know that I understand who they are. And in 3 minutes time, I've created so much more rapport than ever before because they're sitting there thinking, oh my gosh, this guy gets me. I've never seen anything like that in any other system. It builds rapport faster than anything I've ever seen.
That's amazing. And it just, I think more than anything, people want to feel seen. They want to feel heard. And the way that you're doing it, it accomplishes all of those goals for sure.
Yeah. And so we can drop a link here too. If you want to go knowyourcode.us, KNOW, yourcode.us. You can take that assessment for free. You're going to go onto that site. You're going to drag the cards in the order of what's right for you. And then when you put in your information, you're going to receive a report about you. And you're going to want to check this out. It's fascinating. You'll get to see exactly how you're wired. And then for those that are interested in using this for a business tool, we can help you get your own account where you can code your prospects so that you can start customizing your communication and close more sales in less time.
Who doesn't need that as a business owner? I love that. One of the things that, we're in a time right now where it's like people are tightening the belt. We hear about all these things that are, fear and recession this and all, but there's ways to grow business. You've shown
Absolutely.
that. You've continued to show that. What advice would you give somebody right now that's okay? We've talked crazy practical today,
Yeah.
but what would you say? Grow your business. You could start it as you're listening to this. What would it be?
Oh man, there's so many ways, but I want to go back to, first of all, you just talked about fear. And here's the truth. You can either choose fear or you can choose faith. You can't choose both at the same time. Okay. So if you're feeling fearful, guys, we're all human. We all feel that fear from time to time, but that's when you got to get into faith, because that's how you win. Fearing does not serve you. So for me, I turn on the praise music. I turn on the worship music. I'm like, come on, Lord, I need to feel you right here. Holy Spirit, come into me and give me that faith to get through this fear, because fear does not serve you. And I know the pastor in you is coming with an amen, right, Kyle?
Come on, that's right. That's why I'm muted. People
Okay.
listening that know that I'm muted and say, "Come on." So I'm preaching back at you.
All right. So first of all, it's faith over fear. Now, once you're in your faith, how do you get back in action? I'm reading a book right now called Supernatural Business, and I just started it this morning. I read 50 pages, right? So start your day with power. Read information or listen to podcasts like Unleash the Champ, so that you're empowering yourself every day and you're fueling your fire. But then you got to take action. The reality is results come through action. And I know so many people that think about taking action, or they'll talk about taking action, but at the end of the day, they don't do it. So we at HOA.com, we use this thing called Win by Noon. So we have our own system that tracks all of your productivity for the day. And the reality is, if you just crank out in the first morning hours, the most important things that you're going to do every day. WIN is an acronym. It stands for What's Important Now. What's important now? And I had a business coach that taught this to me years ago. He said, as you go throughout your day, constantly be asking, as soon as you finish one task or project, what's most important now? What do I need to do now that's going to make the biggest difference in my business? So first and foremost, get straight on what's important now, and then start taking more action every day. And the actions that you can take, from my experience, building partnerships is the best way to grow a business. Like, I'm going to New Orleans tomorrow. One of the guys I'm meeting is the vice president of marketing for a dental software company. They've got 70,000 dentists. Well, we talked about my book, Raving Referrals. I wrote my second book called Raving Referrals for Dentists. I have a dental practice, dental coaching consulting practice called, you're going to love this, Champion Dentists. And so literally we teach these dentists how to be champs, right? How to be champions. And so building partnerships with people that have 70,000 of your perfect prospects, and creating a co-marketing campaign so that they're promoting you to all of their people, that's how you win big. So look for opportunities to align with and add value to people that are serving your perfect prospects. And then create a plan, create a blueprint, a referral partner blueprint. So you got a plan of action, and that you're both building your businesses and winning together.
Love it, man. I think this may be the most links that we'll have in a show notes from this
Okay.
episode, man. Crazy practical, crazy things that people can implement today. And so I really appreciate this, man. Where can people find you most online? Where can they reach out to you? They want to hear about all that you got on, get your book, get the codes. We'll have the things you've mentioned linked, but where can people find you most online?
Oh, you want more links? Okay, I got
Come
more
on.
links for you.
Yeah.
You ready? All
Let's
right.
go.
So obviously, if you're a professional who serves homeowners, we'd love to invite you to come join us at HOA.com. We are revolutionizing homeowner associations. We are changing the way that communities connect, and we're on a big mission. We are about to unveil neighborhood pages for every neighborhood and community in America. And we're looking for top-rated professionals who can join us to be that top trusted pro in what we call hyper-local social farming. So if you want to get known and be famous in the neighborhoods you serve, go to HOA.com, and you'll see up at the top right, there's a link that says Become a Pro. Now, as far as me and what I'm doing, you can go to brandonbarnum.com. That's got all my links to all my stuff, and you can take the referral score quiz. You can take the bank code assessment there. That lives on my ravingreferrals.com website, so you'll see that there. Obviously, you can buy the book ravingreferrals.com there or on Amazon. We've got a quiz on there, a test on there, all kinds of good stuff. So I think I've given you enough links, Kyle, that we can win the title of most links in the show notes.
Absolutely, man. You get the King of Referrals and King of Links on Unleash the Champ Leadership Podcast. Right. Brandon, this was super practical. Again, I keep saying that because that's what it has been. People are going to be able to apply this today. But I got one more question for you.
Yes, sir.
At Unleash the Champ Leadership Podcast, we want to know, what does it mean to be a champion to you?
Ooh, you know what? That is such a great question. This question, because when I'm speaking in front of audience, I often start with what we call a champion exercise, where we get everybody up off their feet and actually feeling like a champion, right? So we take them through this process where they're celebrating their Super Bowl victory or whatever means the most to them. If they've got a favorite sports team or whatever it is for them to celebrate their success. For me, I'm on a mission. My mission is to inspire, empower, and impact every person on this planet. So to me, being a champion is making sure that in my being every day, that I'm doing all I can for everyone I can. It is being the best every day in every way. That's who I'm committed to being. And I fall short of the glory every single day, Kyle. So I'm not saying I got it all figured out, but I'm saying for me, that's what is being the champ, right? And here's the truth. If you're a business owner, a business leader, people are watching everything that you do and say. So being a champ means being in integrity. It means doing the right thing always, whether somebody's watching or not, and being your best every day in every way.
That's it. Be the best in every way, every day. Brandon, thanks so much for being on the show, man.
My pleasure, Kyle. Thanks for having me.
Yes, sir.
You've been listening to the Unleash the Champ Leadership Podcast. Our passion is to talk to successful people and hear all about their journey and what it took to get there. We hope you've enjoyed the show. Make sure to like, rate, and review. We'll be back soon. But in the meantime, hit up the website at unleashthechamp.com. Find us on Instagram at Kyle J. Sullivan and hit up that Facebook page at Unleash the Champ. Remember, if you can't fly, then run. If you can't run, then walk. If you can't walk, then crawl. But by all means, keep moving.